morning everyone, welcome to Vitality Steve's Beginning Yoga. This is based off of Bikram's Beginning Hatha Yoga series, 26 postures, 2 sets each finished with 2 breathing exercises. This yoga series is best done on an empty stomach first thing in the morning. Usually you can just have a little bit of water, some hot tea, hot water with lemon and ginger is really nice too. I like to do hot cacao with lion's mane mushroom, maca, cinnamon, and cayenne mix. And all you need for this is a space on the floor, your body and your mind, a mat. If you don't have a mat, that's okay. You could use a towel or you could just use nothing at all. All you need to do is just be here, present, right here and now, and be ready to begin. First posture, Pranayama breathing series. This is really good for your lungs. It expands the lungs to their maximum capacity. This is vital for when you're doing a yoga practice, especially one as intense as this. You're going to want to interlace your hands, place them under your chin. You inhale, you bring it down, the elbows come up. Typically, you would want it to be a 6-second inhalation. Then you bring the hands up, elbows come together, chin and head and neck up and back. Exhale for 6 seconds. Do this about 10 times. And each cycle, it opens you up more and more, expanding the lungs to their maximum capacity to prepare you for this exercise. After you do this 10 times, take a moment, swallow a couple of times, clear your throat, empty your throat. Now you're ready for the second set. Now in the second set, you'll realize that your lungs are already warmed up. You'll be able to inhale much deeper, much more fuller and stronger, while exhaling even more powerfully, letting go of more and more within each breath. Because of sedentary habits, most people use only 10% of their lung capacity, never allowing the lungs to reach the maximum expansion capacity that nature intended. As a result, they're susceptible to stress, asthma, shortness of breath, and dozens of other breathing problems. Stand-in deep breathing teaches you a lot about yourself and how to use more of your lungs. Second posture, half moon pose with hands to feet pose, Pada Hastasana. So you're going to interlace the hands, all fingers besides the pointers. You're going to bring them up. You're going to stretch out entirely with the biceps glued to your ears. You're going to inhale nice and full and dip over to your right. You want to hold this for 10 seconds, and while doing so, you're slowly exhaling and you're pushing your hips out in the opposite direction. Then you inhale fully, you come back up to center, and you dip over towards your left. And as you're doing this, you're exhaling nice and slowly, pushing the hips out to the right. Then come back up to center, and now get ready for a backward bend. You want to let the head and neck fall back first, and allow the hands and fingers and arms to guide you. Push your hips forward. Lean your weight on your heels. Following that, you're going to come forward, all the way down, nice forward fold. Bring the hands to the ground, pedal your knees out left and right a few times to loosen up the low back. Eventually, bringing the hands behind the knees and shins, bringing it down under the feet. You want to step up onto your fingers with the pinkies touching. Be very careful with this on first set because your body's still warming up, especially the back and lumbar region. Second set, you'll do much better because you're more warmed up. So you're going to bring the hands up. You can bend left and right lightly a few times. Then you inhale, bring it all the way to the right. Push the hips through the left. After you come back up, you're going to bring it to the left. Nice sideways dip. And your whole entire body will look like a crescent moon. After you come back up, you go back into the backward bend. You'll realize you can go much deeper since your body is more warmed up. As you come out of that, you go into the forward fold. Even here, you'll realize your low back is more loosened up, the fascia is getting broken up. You bring the hands behind the calves, slide them down under the heels, step up onto them. Exhale, extend the legs. With your chest glued to your thighs, head nice and heavy, you bring the hips up. Half moon pose is one of the hardest postures, especially in my opinion, because it's really warming everything up, especially the total spine. You're bending it left and right, backwards and forwards. If you want to have a good life, you have to have a flexible spine. Posture number 3. Utkatasana, awkward pose, also known as chair pose in other forms of yoga. You want to bring the feet about 6 inches apart, pointing forward, arms straight out, triceps flexed, fully extended, and you want to squat down as if you're sitting in a chair. After you come back up, the second part of it, you want to come up on the toes, maximum like a ballerina. While keeping the arms straight out, bring the hips down as if you're sitting on the chair, leaning back against the wall. Exhale nice and slowly, remain the balance. Now come back up, bring the heels down, but keep your arms straight out still, nice and flexed. Now the third part, you're just going to come in a little bit on the toes this time. Now you bring the knees together. You come on down, all the way down until the hips are about a couple inches from the heels. Squeeze the arms straight forward. Exhale, come back up nice and slowly. Now you bring the arms down. The first set is complete. Second set, you'll be much stronger. Balance will be even better. Bring the arms straight out, feet 6 inches apart. Bring the hips down, sit in the chair, and stay right there. Exhale, come back up. Second part, come up on the toes, maximum like a ballerina. Imagine you're leaning the spine, your head and neck back against the wall. As long as you're leaning against the wall, you will never fall. Third part, lean a little bit on the toes, knees together. Head, neck, and back lean against the wall. Come down nice and slowly. Always make sure the arms are extended straight up, straight out. And as you're down low, you can bounce a couple of times to make sure you maintain the balance, kind of like a rabbit. Next up, eagle pose, one of my favorites. So you bring both arms up, bring them down, cross the right under the left, wrap it around, palms pressed together. Bring the hips down. Now the right leg sweeps up, wraps around the left leg. You're sitting down, you're pulling the elbows down, everything's squeezed together, joints are being activated. Unwrap. Now you bring the left arm under the right. Bring it down. Left leg comes up and wraps around the right. Make sure you're breathing, maintaining the balance. Pulling the elbows down throughout. Unwrap yourself. Then directly go into the second set. Especially for eagle, I prefer to just go right into the second set. Getting in and out of this pose is supposed to be a nice fluid motion. As long as you can keep it that way, You'll go through it more swiftly, you'll keep the balance, and you'll maintain those benefits. Eagle is always one of my favorites, as personally it was one of the first postures of this series that I was able to do in its fullest expression. And by doing this in its full expression, it motivated me to continue practicing this yoga series each and every day of my life. And also, Eagle looks really cool when you're doing it right. The next 3 poses are the balancing one-legged series. First, we start off with standing head to knee. So you want to leave the left leg nice and solid, concrete, one-piece lamppost unbroken. Bring the right knee up, interlace the hands under the right foot. Then you extend that right leg forward, pushing through the heel. Eventually, you bend the elbows down, hold it for a few more seconds, and then you bring the forehead to your knee. This posture is really hard. Even for myself, I still have trouble with this one. This was always the hardest one for me. But in recent days, I've been perfecting this one more and more, and it feels really good. It's very empowering. You really test your balance and your flexibility to the limit. You get to that resilient edge of resistance, and by pushing yourself each day in this, it brings you to new heights in your body, in your mind, and in your entire life. After the first set, I recommend doing a nice slight back bend from here. I'm just placing your hands on the hips, leaning back. Second set, you'll go into it much more stronger and harder. And as you see in the full expression, your legs create an upside down L formation. Next up is standing bow pulling pose, another one of my favorites. So you want to hold your right hand out and pretend that someone is handing you money. Now you bring the arm to the side, elbow against the body, you grab onto your right foot, left arm straight out, you lunge forward while kicking through the back leg. As long as that standing leg is solid, straight, you will never fall. Do the same thing on the other side. Hold the left palm face up, bring it around. Put the left foot into that hand. The right arm comes out. You lean forward. You kick through the back leg. And with the standing leg nice and straight, the back leg continuously kicking, and the forward arm continuously reaching out, you'll keep the balance forever. Second set will come much easier. And also while you're doing it, you want to bring your chin to the shoulder of the arm that's coming forward. So if you're looking in a mirror, your shoulder behind should be completely hidden behind your head. Next up and last of the balancing series is Tula Dandasana balancing stick pose. This one is really good for your heart. So you bring the arms up, interlace the fingers all besides the pointers, kind of like how we did in Half Moon. Step the right leg forward, solid concrete one-piece lamppost unbroken. You come down, the back leg is pointing out, kicking out. You're extending through the back leg and the arms. Try to hold it for 10 seconds, bring it down, and you do the same thing on the other side. The left leg being the standing leg. Second set, you'll be much stronger. You'll push and pull much harder. And body will be nice and straight. It'll look like a capital letter T when you're doing it fully and correctly in its full expression. This posture truly improves your balance and your strength overall, while making your heart completely bulletproof. The next 3 postures of this series is the separate leg series. So first up is standing separate leg stretching pose. This is one of the most important forward folding poses there is in yoga itself. Me personally, I like to place the towel down in the center of the mat as a kind of like a marker for where my head is going to go. So you want to step out nice and wide, at least 4 feet distance apart. You want to come down nice and gracefully from the coccyx all the way up to the forehead. Total spine bending forward, full 360 degrees. Legs nice and straight. Hamstrings and abductors are activated to the maximum, and when you're in it fully, you should be seeing everything behind you in an upside down perspective. You want to make sure you come out of it nice and slow and gracefully as well, 1 vertebrae at a time, with the neck and head coming up last. As you get into a nice wide stance, you can also pigeon your toes a bit. And bring the hands down. You can bring them along the outside of your knees, shins, ankles, even the bottoms of your feet, depending on your level of flexibility and where your body will allow you on this day. So when you're in the full expression, your forehead is resting on the ground. Breathe nice and full. And feel this beautiful contraction throughout your whole entire body. Next up is Trikonasana, triangle pose. Ooh, triangle. This is the pinnacle posture of the standing series in the Bikram Yoga flow. So you want to start wide-legged with the right foot pointed outwards to the right, while the left foot is pointed forward. You bend that right knee, come down at least 90 degrees, arms nice and wide. You're splitting your chest open, so you're pulling yourself either side. Inhale, come on down. You bring your elbow inside the knee. You want to make sure that you don't bring it too much lower than the knee, and then the fingertips that are towards the ground, they come between the big toe and the second toe. Trikonasana is all around phenomenal. It activates 110% of your entire body. Everything's getting activated here, so you're making sure you're pulling out through the ends of both fingertips from both hands. The bent leg is activating a lot, while the left standing leg is bouncing, activating. And when you come on down, whatever hand is facing up at the sky, your head is turned in that direction and your chin is coming towards that shoulder. Looking up, out through this hand that's reaching for the sky. You're breathing nice and full, everything activating 110%. So you repeat this on both sides for 2 sets, and that's your Trikonasana, pinnacle of the standing series. Next up is standing separate leg head to knee pose. So I'll do that nice separate leg stance. Bring the arms up, bring the hands together, and you're only interlacing the thumbs this time. Turn the upper body towards the right, about 180 degrees, with the right foot pointing outwards. Come on down gracefully, and The hands are coming beyond the toes. Keep the arms nice and straight and bring your forehead to the knee. For beginners, it's okay if your knee is bent a little bit, even an inch or half inch, as long as your forehead gets to the knee. And come back up, do the same thing for the left side. So always make sure those fingertips are beyond the toes. Forehead is coming to the knee. Come right into the second set. Bring the arms up, twist to the right, 180 degrees. You notice in the second set, might be even easier to get that leg straighter since you're getting warmed up from the first one. Come on down, bring the forehead to the knee. And while you're in there, your throat will be a little choked up. That means you're doing it correctly. Just forehead to the knee. The cervical vertebrae is flexing, a forward motion. Next up is Tadasana Tree Pose. This is the last posture of the standing series. So first you want to bring the right leg up, want to bend it, bring the heel right up to that left hip flexor region or above the knee, wherever you can. Everyone is different based on your level of flexibility. You want to bring the hands to the heart center, breathe, stay nice and steady like a tree. Repeat the same thing on the other side. Sometimes I like to bring my hands overhead, do a nice Pranayama series there. You bring the hands down to heart center, nice and stable. You're really pushing through the standing leg. Knees come aligned, and nice and solid like a tree, deeply rooted in the feet and toes. The second set of the tree posture is toe stand. For beginners, you can just do another set of what we did previously, but if you're up for the challenge, come on down, nice and slowly, and eventually lift both hands up, bring them to heart center, and you're standing on your toes, while the right leg is bent and resting on the left thigh. Now you do the same thing for the other side. Bend the left knee, bring the left foot up above to the right thigh. Come on down nice and slowly. You have the hands down on the mat. You can even stay on your fingertips. Bring one hand up at a time, both together, whatever feels right for you. You're extending the spine, pulling the hair up to the sky, keeping the balance. Come on out of that, drink some water. You have now completed the standing series. The second half of the class is all done from the ground. This is where the yoga truly begins. The beginning half was just a warm-up for this. So you want to come down into Savasana, dead body pose. So you lay there nice and peacefully, arms down to the sides, palms face up. You want to get yourself to a nice natural breathing. Natural irrigation. Nice full breaths. Body is resting, regenerating, revitalizing. It's taking in everything that you just put yourself through before. Next posture is wind relieving pose. So you bring the right knee up, interlace the hands about 1 inch below the knee. Pull it in towards your right shoulder. Squeeze it nice and firmly, while flexing the straight leg on the floor. Bring it down and bring the left leg up. Do the same thing on this side. After doing the right and the left, you bring both knees in together at the same time. You wrap your arms around the knees. You sort of hug the elbows in together. Eventually, after your skeletal system corrects itself, your total spine will be flat on the ground. You release both legs, come back to Shavasana, and get ready for the second set. So something very important I must add in here is that between each set and posture of the ground series, you come back into Shavasana, the dead body pose. Brings your body to that natural irrigation, which heals you up and energizes you. You're literally giving your body energy when you do this yoga. Because yoga itself is a gas station. It's one of the only exercises that fuels your body with energy. Next, you want to do a nice sit-up when you're coming up from this one. Now you turn on over to the prone position, where you'll be for the next few poses. So coming up next is Cobra pose. This one's very important. It's also going to be very hard for beginners. So you want to keep the elbows close to the body, the hands lined with the chest, right below the shoulders. You want to press up. Bring the head, neck, and chin up and back, and you're flexing the spine upwards. Come on down, rest the head towards the right. Second set, come back up and go right into it. Press in on the hands, push yourself up and back, belly button stays on the ground. Trapezius muscles being activated, it's pointing forward. Exhale, come back down, bring the arms alongside you. Bring your right ear to the mat so your head is turned out to the left. Next up is locust. So you want to bring the arms and hands under you, between the hips, palms facing down. Spread the fingers wide so you're gripping the mat. Now right leg is contracting at the glutes, hamstrings and quads. You're bringing it straight up and back about 45 degrees. After you bring that down, do the same thing with the left leg. Bring that down, and ready? Now both legs up. Nice and straight while your chin is on the mat. Exhale, bring it down. Bring the arms out, turn the head towards the right. Now get ready for second set. So you bring the arms back under, palms to the mat, right leg up. Contracting nice and solidly, toes pointing out. Head down, left leg up. Both legs all the way up as much as you can. Exhale, bring it down nice and slowly. Bring the arms out, turn the head to the left. Resting here for a moment. Typically, you would rest longer between each set and posture. But when guiding this flow, I wanted to go more swiftly so that you know you could go through it without taking as much time. Next up is full locust. So with palms face down, you bring everything up. Only the hips and belly button on the floor, all the way up. Legs, arms, shoulders, chest, head and neck. Come down, bring the head to the right. Breathe a couple of times. Get yourself ready for the second set. So when you're going to go much more higher, come up, all the way up, full body, all the way. Exhale, come up even further. As you exhale, you feel a nice release, lengthening in the spine. Come all the way up and down nice and slowly. Head towards the left. So if you can do Cobra, Locust, Full Locust, and Bow, which is the next pose we're going into right now, you're controlling your spine to a very high degree. And if you can do those poses, you can control your entire life. So for Bow, you want to bring the hands around, wrap them around your feet, kick up, chin up, all the way up, release it down nice and slowly, head towards the right. Whenever you're ready, you can come right into the second set. Start by bending the knees, chin on the mat, bring the hands around to the tops of the feet, all the way up. You're kicking through the hands, pulling yourself up. Keep kicking all the way up as best as you can. So what I mentioned earlier about being able to do these few poses in the prone position, about controlling your life, it gives you more flexibility and control of your spine. The spine is the human's main energy center. It's your central nervous system, brain and spinal cord. Everything it originates from the spine. Every limb, every nerve. So having a strong, flexible spine gives you full control of your life. It makes the things that you want in life chase you. Next up is fixed firm pose. So you come up on your knees, bring your hands to the heels, come down, right elbow, then left elbow, come all the way back. Bring the arms overhead, grabbing opposing elbows, pulling yourself down further. You have a nice healthy arch coming through the center of your back to the lower back and hips. Eventually you want to bring the knees closer together. I'm still working on this myself. I want to come up nice and slowly, grab onto the heels, come up one elbow at a time. Normally you would go back into Shavasana, but I'm rolling right into the second set from here. This time I'm bringing my left elbow down first, right elbow for symmetry. As you see here, I'm trying my best to bring the knees together. I'm struggling a little bit, but little by little, day by day, stretch by stretch, and breath by breath, I get them closer and closer together. And bring the hands to the heels, come up onto the elbows, onto the palms. Now before I get into the next few postures, I'm going to go into Savasana right here. The next three postures are tortoise, camel, and rabbit. These ones are very important and the most vital pinnacle postures of the ground series of total forward flexion and backward bending of total spine. So I'm going to come out of Savasana right now, do a nice sit up, turn on over. You want to come onto your knees, nice Japanese style seating position, with the arms overhead, hands together, and you're only interlacing the thumbs this time around. So you come forward, you're completely stretching the arms forward more and more, forehead to the mat. And while you're doing this, you're elongating the spine by pulling the hips back beyond the heels while simultaneously pulling the arms forward. Come back up, bring the arms down. So typically you come back into Savasana before the second set, but for sake of time, I'm going to go directly into the second set from here. So same thing, you reach out far beyond as much as you can. Forehead rests on the ground. Hips go beyond heels. And a fun fact about this posture, tortoise, is 10 seconds of this will give you more energy than 8 hours of sleep. So next up, go back into Shavasana before getting ready for Camel, which is the pinnacle of the back bending series. So you want to come up on your knees about 6 inches apart, knees and feet. You want to come on back, push the hips forward, grab onto your heels, bring the head and neck, chin up and back, all the way back, breathing nice and fully. Keep looking back, come down deeper if possible. The whole front of your body is creating a nice curved arch. You come back around, go into Savasana. Rest here for a moment. Get back to that nice natural breathing. And bring the arms up, sit on up. I'll come into second set. So I'll come up on the knees. This time you want to go about 8 inches apart. Push the hips forward, wind the arms back, grab onto your heels, look back, lean back, fall back all the way, while continuously pushing your hips forward. Now come back around nice and slowly, and turn around, rest on your back, Shavasana. Next up is Rabbit. This is by far the most intense forward folding, spinal bending posture there is. So I come up on the knees, bring the knees together, hands grab onto the heels, fold in nice and closely forward, bring the forehead to the knees, press the head into the ground and roll forward while pulling back on your heels simultaneously. This is a very intense, epic forward bending. You feel it heavily throughout the back of the neck. You want to come back out of it nice and slowly. Normally you would go back into Savasana before the second set, but I'm going to go directly into the second set from here since I'm already in position. If you're having trouble bringing your forehead to the knees, you can walk the knees up to the forehead once your head is down on the ground. Then come, bring your hips forward, roll forward like a wheel, and lean back, come up nice and slow. You'll feel dizzy after doing this, you'll feel a little lightheaded, you'll feel a very interesting sensation happening in the center of your head and neck and throughout your whole nervous system. Next up, it's a nice sitting head to knee. So you want to extend the right leg long, bend the left knee, bring the foot inside the right thigh, and come on down. Bring the head to your right knee, forehead to the knee, while you're interlacing the hands around the foot. Now you want to do the same thing on the other side. So extend the left leg, bend the right knee, foot inside the thigh. Down, interlace the foot, pull the foot back if you want. Bring a nice deeper stretch. Forehead to the knee, come back up. Now both feet forward, come on your back, sit on up, grab onto your big toe with your pointer finger and middle finger, wrap it around. Do a nice forward fold, bend the elbows. You're exhaling, bringing the forehead down towards the knees. Come back up, turn around, rest on your back, Savasana. We're entering the final part of the flow right now. So right now we're truly finalizing everything, especially after all the forward folds, backward bends. So second set, the head to knee, do the same thing on both sides. Pointer and middle finger, wrap it around the big toe. Fold yourself forward, bend the elbows, bring the forehead down. Try to get closer and closer to the feet. Each day, practicing this, your flexibility will increase more. You can bend further and further. Come around, rest on your back. Sit on up. Now prepare yourself for the last posture. This is a total spine twisting. So bend the left knee. Bring the right leg around. Foot outside the foot is against the left knee. Left arm comes around. You extend that arm. Grab your left knee. Elbows pressing against the knee. You're twisting behind you. The other side, you're going to bend the right knee, bring the left leg over that, sit both hips down, bring the right knee outside left elbow. With the right hand, you're grabbing your right knee. Wrap the other arm around your back. Now turn the head and neck, chin all the way over your left shoulder. Keep twisting as much as you can. Twist, twist, twist. Unravel yourself. Come down, rest on your back, Shavasana. All right, now you're coming back up. Now you're doing the final part of this yoga series. The last breathing exercise. So you want to come up onto your knees, sit onto your heels, right between the feet. Extend the arms, rest them on your knees. And do a nice breathing technique right here. You're pulsing through the abdominals, exhaling through the mouth, one breath at a time, a nice fluid motion. Second set, double time. Want to breathe twice as fast, pulsing heavier and heavier. Last breathing exercise strengthens all the abdominal organs, increases the circulation. It will also make the abdominal wall strong and trims the waistline. And after you finish that one up, turn around, come onto your back, final Shavasana. Now in this one, you want to lay here for at least 5 minutes to gain all the benefits from all the intense movements that you did throughout this entire series. Honestly, you can stay here as long as you like, depending on the amount of time you have and your comfort. Sometimes it's best to just float away here, come into a nice, deep, meditative, tranquil state, prepared to be launched off into the astral realm. Your whole body is floating on a cloud. All of your bodily systems are working together in a perfect harmony. Your skeletal, circulatory, respiratory, digestive, nervous, endocrine, all in one perfect harmony together. I hope you enjoyed this yoga series, and I hope that you learned something new about yourself each and every day. I do this practice every day of my life, and it's brought me to new heights that I never knew existed. Keep practicing each day as your flexibility enhances, as well as your balance and everything else in your body and in your mind. I'm Vitality Steve. Namaste.